Hello comic book fans, here's Earl Grey, and these are 4 books about which I want to talk today. And they're all written and drawn by Sam Alden. Pretty young dude in his late 20s, from my point of view, pretty young. He does pretty special comics and sometimes a bit challenging comics, and I must say that he's already one of my favorite comic book artists. This book, Haunter, is his least challenging book, maybe a good introduction to Sam Alden, published by Study Group Comics, who they have a site in the internet where you can read some free webcomics. I guess Sam Alden has something on that page as well, on that site. Yeah, and these comics that I've seen on the Study Group Comics, I didn't read too many of them. They look pretty haunterish, as this comic that I have in front of me, from Sam Alden. This is an adventure narrative. Our hero here fights from level to level. The book has beautiful watercolors from Sam Alden. It pulls you right through. It's a quick read. Maybe you can say that what it's price for it, I don't know, which I've paid for it, is a bit high for the short amount of time that you spend with this book. On the other hand, I could look forever on panels like these where the body under the water is just seen by the lighter shades of green and all the beautiful color work from Sam Alden. His work is amazingly subtle. Subtleness is maybe the key word for his art. Even though my art teacher in school way back then always taught me that felt pen and watercolors don't match with each other, and she had a point there, I think. But in this case, it works beautifully together. The story is not very challenging, not very complicated, not too satisfying, to be honest with you. It's just a flow of ideas that Alden goes by the flow of it, and there's a little interesting twist in the end, just enough to conclude the story, but not too much more. So, yeah. Nice little book. Beautiful book. Not my favorite, though, of Sam Alden. And this is same here. Beautiful, very interesting, wicked Chicken Queen. This is just a stapled little comic book with 1-page illustration and a fairy tale about a strange chicken queen who lives or was born on an island, and I still don't have figured out what it's all about. It's a weird fairy tale, and very, very challenging, to the point that you can't really decipher what he wants to tell us. These 2 books here are more the real deal for me, and I love them to death, to be honest with you. Maybe my favorite story is in this book from Uncivilized books. new construction with 2 more stories by Sam Alden. This was 2 stories by Sam Alden. He has this minimalistic approach to even title his stories. Very minimal, very restrained. So, and here we have no pencils at all. No colors at all, as you can see here. Just his pencil work, but man, what does this guy with pencils? Not the usual, just the usual light and shadow stuff. You could see that, but everything has this very fresh appeal. Nothing's overdone. It's just he finished the drawing when he think the message, the content is clear, what he wants to say. And that is true for the story as well, and the way he tells us the story. Every page, or nearly every page, is a puzzle piece of the story, and we are thrown into situations right in the middle, and sometimes we have to, or we usually have to add the start and the finish of the scenes that we are watching here. The story is about a commune, a group of free thinkers, of liberals, who are so liberal that they are free to let one of them live as a dog in their midst, or better, outside their group. Hence the title Backyard. Here she lives in this pretty filthy backyard. For instance, while a couple of them is getting it on here, and she's just kept in the car like a dog, and she presses her face against the window. One other example of how abstract and poignant the art of Sam Alden can be, and how creepy the scene is. Especially when the scene here where the chicken, again, the chicken seems a bit of an obsession of Sam Alden. The group has a cage with chicken, and they're dead someday, killed. It's open if who it was who killed the chicken, but maybe this girl who wants to be a dog. Was it? It's not pretty clear. As many things in the story are just outlined roughly, hence the visual appearance, the sketchiness of the artwork finds its match in the story. It's minimalistic in the best sense of the word. And when someone can end a story in this fashion, where everyone is silenced, but all the minimalistic expressions on the faces tells a story on its own. Especially her face here makes you think about some events in the story before. It's an amazing story. I think it's so unusual, the trope of the narrative and everything. Same here, the second story of these new stories. It's a bit even sketchier. And yeah, rougher, about and the theme is pretty rough as well, about an incestuous relationship of siblings. Part of it, of the rougher appearance of these drawings, is maybe due to it that that these drawings here are minimized for printing, I think. Excuse me. And these drawings aren't. These have to be more or less the original size. They are looking, at least, this way. So, yeah. And, yeah, very adult story in every sense of the word, and very, yeah, not a light-hearted story, and really, both stories are really narratives that you have to work with the story. It's not so easy. You really have to put some effort in to decipher these books. But if this approach to a story is your kind of thing, go for it, check it out. And it's really amazing. It Never Happened Again is the book from Uncivilized Books that came before the new construction book, and is more of the same in terms of this pencil style. Beautiful what Sam Alden can do with just some strokes of the pencil. And this the first story is a memoir of some events during holidays where he met a girl. Maybe you can call it his first love, and everything seems surreal under these foreign skies, and it's all about how he sees the world during his through his glasses, and even when he puts his glasses off, all these tiny little moments, I love them. Yeah, and the relatively lack of details here allows us, or allows me at least, to almost feel the water under the surface, to put myself into the position of this boy. And there's a moment where he puts off the glasses, and in the next panel, just with the eraser, we see the smeared appearance of the world. As when you put your glasses off, it looks pretty much this way. So, totally not for everyone, but if you maybe think this could be maybe something for me, Sam Alden is, I would highly recommend it. This story here, Anime, is about a big, you guess it, anime or manga fan who wants to go to Japan with her friend, and yeah, she don't want to go to Japan, but she wants to go to this escape dream world. She is escaping to every day and night, and this just can end with a big disappointment, as you can guess. And again, we have here the very interesting artwork where even pancake waffles be an event when she pours some syrup on it. Yeah. So, yeah, pretty sad story as well. Yeah, we're pretty melancholic in tone are all of these 4 books in my mind. Especially the 2 books that I've shown you at the end. But also the colored ones are pretty melancholic as well, I think. So, if you're in a melancholic mood, and I think winter and recent political events are more reason than enough to be a bit melancholic, more just than a bit, maybe pick up 1 or 2 of the stories from Sam Alden. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.